Welcome to the Buylist. This is episode 1.
This is not financial advice by any means. This is cardboard. Let's dive into it.
There's a couple cards that I want to run through, a couple shadow cards, couple light cards. Get your thoughts on them, Nate, and kind of go from there. So the first one up here that I would say, if you're interested in shadow heroes and the new set excites you, I would look at Shadow Puppetry. I was a chain player for the whole time he was out. Shadow Puppetry was in the deck actually, I can't say it was always a 3 of, but it should have been. I think you always, but yeah, Shadow Puppetry. I mean, this card is sitting at, what's it sitting at, like $4 right now. I obviously have my play set. I picked up some rainbow foils. We'll get into that a little bit later, but I think this is a card, if you want it, I think it has potential to be a 3 of in the new Shadow Rune Blade for sure.
Yeah, I mean, I think regardless, like Shadow anything, this will probably be a staple moving forward. Just because like it depends on like how exactly they'll have banish, but like being able to like pull something off the top and throw it in the banish is like just a powerful effect. And as it turns out, go again is good. So
yeah, go again is real good. +1's real good. It's just a solid card all around. I believe, don't quote me on this, back when Chain was in his heyday, this was a $8 to $10 card most days. It was 5 to 10 all day. I know that for sure. You can see here, just looking at some data, I'm an engineer. So I definitely want to be data driven on this podcast. So just quick highlights of some things to look at on these charts and graphs. This is TCG latest. Notice how much has been sold in the last, from 3-1 on, right? People are definitely picking these up. I think they will continue to go up. There'll probably be a little bit of a rebound. There's too much hype on this stuff, man. Like, I think we want, Monarch is hyped up pretty good right now, but I think this is one you want. Okay. I think that's enough on Shadow Puppetry. Let's move over to Shadow of Ursa. 3 of all the time. I think the new Shadow Rune Blade will run 3 of these as well. No way of telling, but I truly believe LSS would not design a new Shadow Rune Blade character that doesn't use the old card pool. That's the whole point of the set, right? Yeah. So,
and on that too, like James White has like said in like multiple interviews, like he doesn't like the idea of people like playing a hero and then like when that hero LLs, their collection just like goes to waste.
Right. Yeah.
So, and I think even more so, like the fact that they were going back to this, and not only is it just like they could have easily just done like here's like a 2-player starter set with a new Shadow Rune Blade and a Light Illusionist, right? And just introduce it that way. But they're doing an entire expansion set targeted towards like the Monarch block, which is super cool. But like these cards are definitely going to be playable, and like there's definitely going to be some like expansion on that. But like blue block 3, go again. Any more text on it? I don't even know.
No, and to give it go again, you banish another card to give it go again. I mean, it's great. It was a awesome card in Chain, and I think it will be an awesome card in the new Shadow Rune Blade as well. And to be honest, we're looking at the normal edition right now, Nate. They're moving, right? Again, if you look here, 3-2 to 3-4, there's been a number of them sold. But it's not moving it's an M that's not going to move up that much. I mean, it's floating around like $1 a piece. I think it's an easy pickup again if you're looking to get into this hero for sure. Okay. The last one, I don't actually have a tab for it, but like honorable shout out would be Invert Existence. Card's probably like 50 cents. You pretty much will run you'll sideboard in and out, but having 3 of them would not be a bad idea, right? Get them while they're 50 cents. They'll go up. Yeah, we're not talking, again, I want to be player focused here. So that's why I bring up some of these like cheap cards. It's like, why are you even talking about a 50-cent card? Well, it's going to go up to $3. So if if you're a diehard, get it now, right? And then, yeah, let's flip over to the light side. Celestial Cataclysm, Cstrike Man. Like, there's not much more to say here. We're looking at, it's sitting around $8, $7, $8. I think this card will only go up from here, especially if there's more light support and light. Especially if there's like Dory is like a light warrior or some new light warrior, right? This card will be there. Any kind of Bolton support.
Wait, do I get to make my rampant speculation now or later?
Well, yeah.
Marvel Light Dory next set. You heard it
here
first.
Boy. Boy.
I've literally been saying it to everyone who would listen to me. So, dude, Marvel Light Dory next set. Like,
so just like people are just gonna bring like 3 inches of cash for that card.
Yeah.
Like if dude. I mean
with cash.
Yeah. If it is Dory, right? We had that lore article about where she kind of went Super Saiyan at the end, right? They talked about her hair glowing, eyes glowing, kind of like what we saw happened to Shiana, which lends me to believe the name Chain might not be back. Just because if they're going to switch up and go to Shiana as a light illusionist, maybe Prism and Chain are kind of on the bench because that's not confirmed yet. Anyways, I think there is a possibility it could be Dory again, and that would be very cool. And you would have to go Marvel. Like,
oh yeah.
I mean, like, come on, like, yeah, it's
LSS knows how to how to like really work it. Like Marvel CNC, like, come on.
Yeah.
No way they don't go Marvel Dory.
Yeah, for sure. So yeah, anyways, Celestial Cataclysm, closing notes from my side would be, more expensive than the Shadow side cards that I just talked about, but I still think you're at a decent price right now, still, in my opinion.
I mean, if you look at how many have sold too, like,
yeah,
I mean, there's been over 40 sales.
Yeah.
I didn't go through and like count how many have sold, but like basically since the news broke, like there's been just buckets. These things are moving like hotcakes, and they'll continue to. Because listen, I started playing in Monarch. Basically, I got juiced hard during Monarch.
Yeah.
But like Celestial Cataclysm used to be like a $17, $18 card, and that was like when Unlimited was out too. Like, this card has been pricey for a long time, and it's not even been super playable.
No,
like that's the craziest thing. It hasn't even been super playable. Like Prism, like kind of ran it, but like not really.
Yeah, she ran it for a hot second. Bolton, obviously, it's seen the most play in Bolton. I think they are showing us already in Dynasty that they're willing to support Bolton. Right? He got some tech in that set.
Bling bling.
And Bolton doesn't have to be in this next set to get more bling either, right? So I think, I think this is a safe bet. Yeah.
Oh,
and like you said, $17. I could see it going back to $17 very easily. Week after launch of Dawn Till Dusk, easy.
I mean, like both First and Unlimited are out of print now. I think that Monarch has been a very forgotten set. I think there's going to be a lot of Unlimited coming to the market now that we're seeing this like expansion, but I don't. The First is kind of like done and dusted. First is like just going up from here.
Yeah.
Like, listen, Bolton's barely been playable. Like I would argue he's not really a functional hero. Hasn't been since release. And Prism didn't even run the card, and like it's still holding value because it's like iconic art, which is like one weird thing about Fab that like I don't understand. Like I never understood like art before, but like art, like the art and fab is just like next level, and like this card is just
Yeah.
like always going to hold a premium just because of their art.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I've always said it. They started out a little rocky on the art, but I mean, even you look at the spoilers this weekend, they are just killing it now. They like they know what they're looking to get, and they just knock it out of the park now with all the artists and everything. So yeah, they're like, yeah, I totally agree. So a card like this, Cstrike, the mat's expensive, and that tells me that the art is part of the card. So every week we're going to finish the podcast with our buy list, and this is essentially what we're looking at. You know, kind of what's on our radar, things that are just generally too cheap. These will be most of the time, at least for me, will probably be a little bit more expensive than the cards that we go through, like we just did with the light and the shadow cards. These will be things, you know, more on the spec side, I'll say. And the first one here is Potion of Strength. This is obviously not just the normal version. This is the cold foil version. This was a Road to Nats and Rudy promo. And the interesting thing about this is that they're like $80 on TCG Player, like 80, $90. In comparison, should be in the same population. The Time Snap and Epoch cold foils are 3 times that much. Like, what are they, Nate? They're like $300-$400 a piece, right? Obviously more playable at this point in time. But I mean, this card is as rare as the other two. So
you don't see them very often because they're so rare.
Yeah.
So like it's really hard. Like I actually have not seen a cold flow Potion of Strength up for sale in a long time.
Yeah, there's a handful on TCG Player right now that are up there that I've just been keeping an eye on, seeing if they're going to be bought or not. And they just kind of just sit up there. Again, it's understandable. The price is understandable. They're not selling is understandable. This card's not playable, right? This would just be a pure collector. But we do know Alchemist is a talent or is a class that's coming to this game at some point. If that's PvE, if that's a, PvP, that's something to keep an eye for. And I do think this could be a playable card with that hero.
Yeah.
So
I think like the other two potions are like pretty clear in their use case. Like this potion could potentially be a part of like a combo deck someday, because like typically you don't want to like take away tempo to set this up.
Yeah.
But, like it does have like some maybe like niche competitive use in the future.
Yeah. I think it's going to take an Alchemist. It's going to take PvE for this card to be playable. But if it does become playable, and even in PvE, that $80 is not going to last. So if you find them, I would keep an eye on them. It's something that I'm keeping an eye on. I think it's interesting, right? I'm not running out to buy them, but I do think it's interesting.
Sure.
Next one for me, threw Art of War up there because if you've been paying attention, like I have, Rainbow Foil Majestics from the first cycle of this game have kind of come due. They now are in the spotlight, and the price is going up on these quickly. I think Art of War Rainbow Foils, full stop. I bought my play set 2 weeks ago at $80-$90 a piece. They are now at $140-$150 a piece. I think in general, rainbow foils from the first set, black border. I guess I'll expand upon this a little bit. I think Nate and I kind of stumbled upon an interesting little tidbit that I really hadn't heard anyone talk about before, and it has to do with rainbow foils, is that in in Uprising, Scarf to Scar was reprinted, and it was not reprinted as a rainbow foil. So the only rainbow foil you can get of Scar for Scar Red right now is in WTR. Those sets are out of print, folks. And I think it's starting, I think as this game grows, as the player base grows, there's going to be people that want full foil decks, and I think we're seeing that right now. Foils across the board up big time. So if there's certain rainbow foils you like, folks, go. I would say go get them now. I am like, just full honesty, I'm buying rainbow foils. That's my buy list this week is that Potion of Strength. One other thing, I don't have the card image for it, but Cold Foil Nebula Blade. As we get closer and closer to Briar LLing, she will take Thorn with her, and Rune Blades will be left with Reaping Blade and Nebula Blade. Nebula Blade is depending, but Nebula Blade is the juice, right? It's actually pretty good. Played it in chain a lot, and there was instances where I missed it, right? It definitely was a cool play pattern. So grab those now before Thorn LLs is another little buy list tip from me this week.
Yeah, I think like Nebula Blade becomes like almost a de facto.
Yeah, becomes the standard, right? In my opinion.
Yeah.
Yep.
This is completely fine going back to that. You might have to like change what his deck looks like a little bit.
But, yeah.
He definitely goes back to that. I don't think Reaping Blade provides the same value. And like to touch on the point of like rainbow foils, and I think we forgot to touch on that a little bit with like Monarch prices as well. Is like the first 3 sets, like those are out of print, those are long gone. That's like hard to get. You can still get a little bit of crew from distribution, but like WTR and Arc, like that's gone in the States at least.
Yeah.
So those rainbow foils will continue to rise, including the legendaries.
Yeah.
With Monarch though, we've seen a spike because of the new set announcement.
Yeah.
Those rainbow foils will fall because of how much Monarch Unlimited is still left in the world, right?
Yeah.
So don't go FOMOing in. And you can get your husk in 3 weeks. Still have it plenty of time for the dawn and dusk. Like you have so much time between now and dusk till dawn to get your rainbow foil legendaries from Monarch, because there's still so much Monarch Unlimited. But if you don't have if you like rainbow foils and you don't have any of like the rainbow foil L's from WTR or Arc, like they're only moving up from here. And like we saw with grass too, right? Like, both you and me have been buying grass since November.
Yep.
They announced that there was going to be a Rune Blade this year. You're a big Rune Blade stan. I loved playing chain. And we're like, why is grass not? Why is grass $50? I shouldn't be able to buy this card for $50.
Yeah, I mean, it feels funny to us, but this will be the first time saying it in public on my channel. I mean, I'm sure I've said it on my stream as well, but I'll repeat myself again, is that I believe that they cannot print a better grasp. If they print a better arm, Rune Blades, you think people crying about Rune Blades now? I think grasp are the de facto standard, right? Like, so them being, like you said, at $50 and full stop, like I've been buying them, right? If you're in my Discord, you've seen the photos. I have a stack of them at $50. They're good, right? And what I'll say right now is, if to piggyback on the Monarch discussion cards that we talked about, I think grass jumped up to like 90 this week, again from the hype of Monarch happening and the Rune Blades and stuff like that coming out. It's dropped back down today, like one sold at 70 something. I'll say this, like it's still a decent deal at this price. Like if you want to buy one and play with it in July, I think it's fine where it's at. I do think, depending, it will go up. I do think there's still room for that card to go up. And again, they could print another arm. Like I said, I'm joking around about them not being able to print something better. We know Crown of Providence exists, but I think it's, a decent bet. But again, like if we're going to be player focused, I would say it's not a terrible price right now. Same thing with Husk. Don't go FOMOing into that, or any Monarch, Nate, as you had mentioned. That's great advice right now. Those prices will steady out. We've been looking at a lot of data to prep for this this podcast kicking off. And I'll tell you right now, we didn't show it, and we can show it maybe in the next episode, but I have data that, you know, the buyout of This Rounds on Me lasted 2 weeks, and it went from $30. Sure, it shot up to $30. It came right back down to 15, which I don't think is an egregious price for a 3 of Majestic in a lot of decks that are fighting the best deck with it, Vi, at the time. Yeah. Come on, like, let's be fair here, guys. $15. I know it's $15, but it's not an egregious price. $30, yeah, that was nuts. But let's learn our lessons here. Don't go FOMOing into Monarch, right?
Yeah, definitely. Monarch first.
It'll come back. It'll come back down. Monarch first is a little different. Yes, there's there's not a lot of Monarch first out there. There's a lot of unlimited still to be cracked.
The thing with Monarch first, and like, listen, full disclosure, I may or may not have some heavy bags. Monarch first though, I think we'll see it will be very hard for that price to move up going forward. I think we've seen it spike now. I think we'll see it stabilize.
Yeah.
But at every time that moves up, you're gonna hit like a new barrier of resistance because of people like me who have like heavy bags from paying like $350 a box, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, I bought several boxes at like $350, and I was like, oh, going to the moon. But we had some like bad actors in the space, and you know, I've cracked them, and I've opened my Ironhide gauntlets and been sad about life. But so like just be careful with Monarch, folks. I guess is the moral of the story, because like there's a lot of it, specifically the unlimited. But I guess
Monarch's not. Yeah, I think. Yeah, you're right. Monarch's not really, Unlimited's not really going anywhere just yet, right? I think there's a bunch of it out there.
Yeah.
Again, no reason. I think Husk is an easy one to pick out. Admittedly, I didn't look at any of the other legendaries from the set, see how they were affected by that announcement, but I assume they're all kind of affected about the same. Husk was too cheap at like under 100, I think. I mean,
agreed. Yeah.
It was borderline too cheap. It wasn't like crazy grass cheap at 50, but when the Shadow Runeblade comes out, it will likely be running Husk, and it will be over 100. But it won't be 160 Rainbow Foil. It won't be. No shot. Yeah. Do not FOMO, folks.
No, please don't.
All right, Nate, what do you got for your buy list this week?
All right, so your boy Yorick coming to town, playing his hummingbird.
We're going deep on this buy list this week. Started off, right?
There's a couple things you'll learn about me, folks. I have a lot of hot takes. Some of them good, some of them real bad. But like real talk, like if you go look at like the inventory of like Yorick in any of the promos, like on TCG Player, there's not a lot of it. And as soon as PvE hits, which might not even be this year, this card will get incredibly expensive. But I think this is like a very if they could, it'll be interesting to see if with Pro Tour Baltimore they continue the Yorick series, or if they start a new series.
Right.
So if they continue to expand Yorick's kit with the Pro Tours, that's just like one more hook to get people like into collecting the Yorick. So like Ted, my boy, hooked me up with Yorick when he went to PT1. I was too much of a scrub to qualify then. I've gotten a little better since.
Yeah.
But I picked up my hummingbirds, and then I got my Tales of Adventure Worlds. So I went back and got Yorick's. But like you look at Yorick's, there's like not a lot listed on TCG Player right now. You look at hummingbirds, there's like 3 listed on TCG Player right now. And then like Tales of Adventure all the way up to 500. The lowest listing right now is 300. Last sold 130. It's because the inventory is so thin, it doesn't take a lot to move it.
Yeah. I mean, that's the case of all Flesh and Blood too. Like, I think that's an interesting point that you bring up, is that, you know, looking through this, just as a slight sidebar, but it is interesting to see how much it takes to move things. It's not a lot, right? I think as the game matures, that will change, right? And then it will settle down some of this movement we see on Monarch and things. The one thing I'll say about Yorick, and it's interesting. It's a collectible that, came from the United States, right? And if you couldn't get to the States, if you're willing, then you don't have one of these essentially. And like you said, it's low stock because it is a collectible. I value my heart mat over the Yorick. So I like Nate mentioned, I sold my Yorick to him, but I'm not selling my heart mat, right? And I believe that sentiment probably fits with the Yoriks for other people, other players, other collectors, right? So, these are going to be hard to get a hold of soon, right? Just flat out, they're not going to do this again. LSS is not dumb when it comes to these things. They're not going to give Yoriks out again at the like PT6 or something. If he ever does come back, it'll be a different card completely, right? Yeah. Like they're smart enough to know that collecting is a huge part of their hobby. That's why we're doing this freaking podcast, guys. Like, is that they're smart about collecting, and for me, honestly, playing the game is like half of it, and then doing this is like the other half. I love doing this stuff. So yeah. So I think Yorick has the the potential, like Nate, you said. So yeah, I think this is a good watch.
Yeah, for sure. I like Yorick, and it's just so flavorful too, which is like, I don't know. Before, when I played card games, it was like, just give me pieces of cardboard with the text on it. That's all I need. I don't care about anything else. And it's really weird that like LSS has actually like made me care about that. Like before, I was like, just give me the bare bones, the cheapest version of the card with a text that's functional on it. That's all I need.
Right.
But like LSS has just done such a beautiful job like painting the story and making you like get involved in the world of Wraith that like it's just like, I mean, like you can kind of see my desk, like
yeah, right.
I have too many cards. I love all of them. They're like my babies. But
yeah, for sure. Same.
So like, I guess I can kind of move into the next one, which actually like I just got a pair here, so like I'll flash them just because like I even got the Yorick right next to it, guys. Like I'm putting my money where my mouth is.
Wait, other way. There you go. Oh yeah, the E-strikes. Yep, that's where we're going.
So, like my, pink strip, first edition, non-foil. Like foil, listen, I'm not that bougie, but like the non-foil versions of like this iconic card in the pink strip, the alpha printing.
Yeah.
Like I picked up the pair for $250.
Yeah, it's not bad.
Like that doesn't like that. I don't know. Like
that's what a rainbow foil costs, by the way, right now.
Yes, one rainbow foil
unlimited rainbow foil. Yeah.
Which James, again, if you're watching, I have an unlimited rainbow foil E-strike. I've tried to get you to sign in Lille and at Worlds.
Oh no!
But the line is too damn long.
You gotta be a full-on scrub like me, and you can just stand in line all day instead of playing in the top tournaments. I made it to one pro tour, and that's my stamp. I gotta make it back. I
know. I just want this card signed. So like, James, send me your address, please. Yeah. I'll ship. Yeah, I'll pay both shipping. I'll ship both. I won't dox them. I wouldn't do J-dubs like that.
No. You wouldn't, but like, yeah, just give us your personal information, please.
Yeah, like I'll send it to you. I'll even have return postage. Like all I do want is a sign, or like maybe I'll just top a Pro Tour Baltimore, and then like you can sign it then. So, like that's like I think the non-foil Majestics. Like I picked up a place of like I'm a big Ranger stand now, which you might have realized by now. But
yeah,
like I picked up a place of non-foil 3 of a kinds for like $66. Like
that's so good, man. Like
yeah, like for like first. They're 3,000 in existence, and it's like $20 a card. Like the unlimited non-foil is like $10 a card.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, if you believe, which I think we both do, I can speak for myself. I believe in this game, and I believe in this game for the reason we just said, right? That they understand collectability, and that's what's going to help them have longevity. And obviously the game side of it's very good too, right? I mean, jokes aside, they've been very balanced, right? There's been some hiccups. We all know them. There's no point in repeating them, but they've fixed them very quickly and like in a timely manner where it didn't affect the game to a point where I think you were like losing players. I don't think Starvo, hot take here, but I don't think Starvo lost this game players. Like you like how like I know it's not like a zero, but like in the grand scheme of things, I think it's pretty low. Like I don't think there's a ton of people out there that like played against Starvo once at an armory and then just like threw their cards away on the way out. I'm just gonna say that right now.
I do think Starvo left a bit of taste in a lot of players' mouths, and I think it might have forced a lot of people like out of competitive play.
Maybe.
But I don't think that it necessarily like forced people to stop playing.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. Like I don't think it just turned people off completely, but I might be wrong on that one. But yeah, anyways.
Flesh and Blood is like crack cocaine. Like you're just like once they
You'll
get
be
you
back.
to do it once. Yeah, once you do it once, like you're locked.
Yeah. But yeah, I agree with you. Like pink strips, you know, if you're not a rainbow foil guy, I think pink strips are a cool way to kind of have that uniqueness that's not foily, right? Yeah. Like I mentioned, I recently yeah, see, there you go. Pink strips are cool, man. Like for sure. They're like really not my style. I'm not like searching them out. I think it's because maybe WTR is just not my set. I love drafting it, but collecting it, I'm like, you know. I think Arcane Rising, Runeblade stuff is where I start picking up the crazy collectible bug, right? So
I was gonna say there's no Runeblade in it, so obviously you wouldn't.
I'm out.
You're out.
Yeah, that's a sell for me, dog.
Yeah. So my last thing on my buy list is just like shiny cardboard. Like shiny cardboard I don't have, so like I just picked this bad boy up.
Oh yeah, I picked one up myself as well.
Like it again, like I'm looking at things that are like also just like low inventory, right? Like very stable bets to like not have like the market get flooded on them and me just like get like absolutely hosed like I did previously with Monarch. And like you look at Cold Foil Command and Conquerors, there's like maybe
four on TCG Player right now, man. I mean,
it's like $2,000 buys like 3 of them, like, and then it's like $1,000 for the last one. So it's wild. Like it's a super thin market, like, and the card is just always going to be playable unless they ban it.
Yeah,
it's a 3-block, 6 attack, destroys arsenal.
Yeah, I mean, here's the thing that, you know, we've talked about this, and since I've started streaming weekly, right, I can lean into that a little bit, and I open two boxes of Dynasty a week, you know, maybe one Dynasty box here or there. It was, you know, Uprising before that, and then it was, obviously, I started in Everfest. But by doing that, I kind of run like this like subconscious tally in my head, right? I've started to. And there's been some cards, you know, and I guess maybe this would be extended buy list, but there's been some cards that I just don't pull, which is like honestly rare. I'm not opening hundreds of boxes, but like if I don't, like over the run of Dynasty, if I don't pull a card, I make note of it. Uprising, it was Ashwing Marvels. I maybe pulled 2 or 3 of those. Yeah. Another card from Uprising was the Marvel Icelander. Very hard to pull. Never pulled one on stream. No, actually, I've never pulled one. That's a rare card then. It's in like, am I Himmel opening hundreds of boxes? No. But if I go 4 months and never pull a card, I kind of like pick it up in my head and be like, hey, if I see a good deal on one of those, I'll scoop it. I've never pulled a Command and Conquer. I've pulled some Fableds, right? I pulled the Gym from Everfest. I pulled, you know, like not that they're the same, but still, like I found them eventually, right? I have not found a Command and Conquer, which tells me they might be slightly more rare than a normal fabled.
And like
in my
Dynasty's been out
opinion.
for what? Like you've had 4 months to open boxes on that. And you open at least 2 a week roughly.
I would say it probably averages 2 a week with like my launch streams and stuff. Yeah. Like if you like take those cases and distribute them out, it's probably about 2 boxes a week. So it's like, you know, it's a
So you're
decent
probably-
amount. It's like 8 to 10 cases, right? I would,
Yeah.
you know,
that would be easily 10 cases. That's probably like what, 50,
it's
60
probably more
boxes?
than that. Yeah. I
So
mean,
you've probably opened like 60 boxes since launch and still haven't hit it.
yep.
Like, listen, like one of my locals, he literally opened one in a McDonald's drive-through because that's like literally the human he is. It was Dahan.
Of course. Yeah. Of course. It's
Because like that's it's Dahan for you. But like I don't know anyone else who's literally opened one without opening like a boatload of product.
You have to open a lot to get them. Yeah. To be fair, I you know, I have it sitting here as well. Oh, I put it away, but I just picked up mine as well. Picked it up for like 400-ish, somewhere in there. Just to have one, right? We saw what's happening with Heart. I think the Fableds will continue to go up, especially if they're this rare, right? Yeah. No, that's a good point. Like to circle back, right? You know, rainbow foils in general, I would say, are on my buy list. Just keep an eye out for them if you like that sort of thing. But yeah, I now believe they won't be reprinting them, right? Like I don't think Come to Fight will come in rainbow foil and Outsiders.
No, none of the reprints will be rainbow foil and Outsiders, which will be. I mean, I'm assuming that, but I'm almost positive because of how LSS has handled their business.
Yeah.
And I think they do a great job about that, like making sure they reward the people who've been in for a long time, right?
Yeah, and let me be clear, that's not saying that I'm like stamping it in steel here, saying that they'll never change. They can definitely change their methodologies at any time they want with rainbow foils, right? I think they only really publicized the no reprint on cold foils, right? I don't think there was anything there in rainbow foil, so could change, but right now it hasn't, and I believe they won't, right? I believe in the company and James White to understand what they're doing, so yeah. But
absolutely.
Yeah, so I think that's we can wrap it up here, Nate. That was a lot of fun. First episode down. This is not financial advice. This is cardboard. Let's just be clear about that. There's a I think both of us are kind of on the side of you know, this is just this is a hobby, right? Let's be clear about that. Like I said, I want to be on the player side here, right? I hope the cards that I picked to talk about tonight kind of showcase that, right? And I'll continue to try to do that as well, right? Is, you know, what cards are something that I think is a good buy for the future. So
can I do the classic YouTuber thing?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right. So everybody, this is our first episode. Can you please leave a comment below? Let us know what you liked, what you didn't like. And then you can pop, lock, and drop that subscribe button. And hit that like button to help the algorithm.
Yes.
Because we all know that's what it is. It's like an algorithm. So
please, of course.
Please do all of the things. It would make all of us happy.
Yeah, for sure. Join my Discord. I'll have a room up for this podcast. We'll be chatting in there. I do giveaways in there monthly, guys. I stream on Tuesdays. I open boxes every Tuesday. This is on Wednesday, so it'll be the next Tuesday, but I do giveaways on there as well. But yeah, join up the Discord, leave a like, subscribe, please. I haven't announced it yet, but there will be a 500 sub giveaway, then 1,000, and so on and so on. We'll find something to give away because we're all about that. But thanks for listening and watching, and we'll see you next week.
Peace.
Peace.